How are you guys? I just got done watching the original King Kong and I made my review of that already. And soon after I'll be watching Son of Kong. Before the Son I want to talk about today, this article was made by Joshua Sonomrysky, I think. It's a translation from the Japanese publication Godzilla Toho Special Effects Unpublished Material Archive, producer Tominuku Tantayanta and his era. I'm really bad at pronouncing stuff, and I was originally going to read this whole thing, but it's a super huge, it's really long. So I'm not going to read the whole thing. But I'm going to read the section of it that basically says Godzilla and Kong's fight. So, you guys want to know this is basically, after King Kong vs. Godzilla, King Kong was still, his rights were still with Toho. And Toho was going to make a sequel to King Kong vs. Godzilla, but they eventually just decided to go along with making Godzilla fight Mothra instead. And King Kong went on to do King Kong's Escapes when they had the rights still, so they made their own solo King Kong movie. So, here though, we have the storyline out on the internet for that film, just like with the Heisei King Kong vs. Godzilla was supposed to be made. This one's a direct sequel to the 1962 King Kong vs. Godzilla. I'm going to read stuff about the final battle, you guys, and see what you can say. Reading over this real quick. From what I know, though, it makes it very clear King Kong won the fight in 1962, which is a true fact. You know, there's no arguing about it anymore. You know, people want to, but there's no point to. It's been declared. And you can get mad at me if you want, but basically in the thing it also shows at some point too that King Kong won. But basically this is going to be the epic rematch, and I have my own opinions of it, and I'm kind of glad it wasn't made in some ways, unless they changed certain stuff. But I'm going to read the whole section that kind of talks about the fight, so let's begin. Nomura put Misuku and the baby in the car, attempting to take an overland route to Fukuoka. Oh my god, I'm already messing up. You guys can read this again. I'll put it in the description so you guys don't hear me, because I butcher a lot of names, a lot of Japanese names especially, but even some English I butcher, or I just don't say it all. However, moments before they could do so, something strange had occurred. Godzilla had appeared, breaking through the crust of the caldera of the dormant Mount Osolu. Godzilla, who had disappeared into a blast of seawater, had tumbled under the earth, reappearing in the dormant volcano called Caldera. I don't know. But basically, Godzilla's in a volcano. He pops out of it. What was unlucky was that Godzilla had appeared in the direction of the Alpine roads, which Nomura had taken to avoid the public gaze, preventing their car from moving any further ahead. Just as he was about to put the car in reverse, King Kong approached from behind. Nomura put the car in reverse and slammed his foot as far down on the pedal as possible, fleeing. Last, the car stalled, and Nomura led Misuku, holding the baby away on foot. There's a big thing about a baby in the storylines. It's you read the whole thing if you want to know more about the human story. And Zamora and the others collapsed. Hiding in the shadow of a cliff, King Kong drew near. Misuku, seeing Kong approach, lost conscious. It seemed that they had come to the end of their road. King Kong began peering towards the cliff. Just then, Godzilla's tail, slicing through the air, slammed in King Kong's face. King Kong tumbled downwards as though hit by a knockout punch. Godzilla, as if announcing his victory, let out a body-shaking roar. King Kong moved to make a fierce counterattack. Godzilla, attempting to head off this attack, bathed Kong in his atomic breath. A battle the likes of which would never be forgotten began to play out on Mount Oso. This was a brutal contest on a grand scale. Both beasts fought fiercely, and none could know when or how it would end. Nomura urged along Mizuku, who had regained consciousness, and the two fled the baby. The mortal contest between King Kong and Godzilla continued. Nomura and the others took flight, and suddenly a great earthquake. Nomura and Misuku tumbled off a cliff into the valley. Their rapid descent was saved from a grim end by overgrowth of vegetation, but as soon as they looked around, the infant was missing. Hearing the wail of the baby from further up the cliff, they realized that the baby alone had not fallen and was now all by itself on the cliff. Nomura tried desperately to climb the cliff face, but in vain. Just as this was occurring, the dormant volcano, perhaps shocked awake by the super heavyweight grudge match between Godzilla and Kong, erupted with a great roar. The expelled magma, its heat reaching thousands of degrees, oozed towards the child. Mura and Misuku, using a detour, ran up a separate path in an attempt to reach the top of the cliff, only to find their path blocked by the lava. The infant's life was like a small flame in the path of the wind, yet what saved the child, ironically, was Godzilla and Kong. Godzilla's atomic breath dissipated the magma approaching the child. King Kong placed the child on top of his great fist, stared at it fixedly. The child stared back innocently, and finally King Kong placed the child back in a safe spot and returned to his grudge match with Godzilla. Nomura and Misuku ran toward the child laid, gathering him up in their arms. As a giant earthquake shook the area where King Kong and Godzilla fought, a new volcano emerged, erupting in a massive volcanic blast. King Kong and Godzilla were enshrouded in smoke clouds as ash turned day into the darkest night. Nothing could be seen. At last, as smoke cleared, both King Kong and Godzilla disappeared. Could they have fallen into the new caldera and melted away, or had they perhaps been blown asunder by a concentrated jet made of the volcano's massive explosive energy? To this day, no one knows. Perhaps someday, in some form, the truth will come out, but as of this moment, no such evidence has come forward. The issue was how this all had unexpectedly exposed the ugliness of human society. As far as this went, Nomura and Misuku just couldn't find it to themselves to hate King Kong or Godzilla. As volcanic ash fell down upon them like snow, the two held the baby close, as they would for a long time after the end. So, basically, that's how the concept for this played out. So, I don't know about your guys' opinions. In my opinion, as much as I would love the sequel to King Kong vs. Godzilla, I don't think I would want the final battle to play out where it's a no contest. The first movie had no problem with, King Kong winning. They let King Kong win in the first movie. Why couldn't they let Godzilla just beat Kong in this one, or vice versa? Even if King Kong won again. Or even if it was a draw. Both of them just gave up. Gave in, and it's just a no contest. The volcano explodes, and you just don't see him again. I don't like the sound of that. I personally feel like that would have been a very disappointing film, and definitely would not be as good as the original King Kong vs. Godzilla. I just don't see why or how they would, I don't know who came up with that concept. There's a lot to do with volcanoes. I think it's interesting Godzilla kind of came out of one, like a dormant one. But I like how whenever they're fighting and stuff, it does cause an earthquake, which erupts the volcano. There's the whole human thing with the baby. You would have to read the whole thing to kind of understand what's going on there. Like, I think there's a scorpion, kaiju, and stuff that's in this movie. It's just, personally, I don't know how you guys feel. I personally, even concept-wise, I don't like the idea of it being a no contest. At the very least, make it a draw. You could say a no contest is a draw, but no, it's not. It's not like both of them just submit it, or something stopped them, or clearly a draw. It's just, they're gone. Boom, they disappeared. I wouldn't say that's a draw, One of them could be dead, too. It hints at there's a chance one of them are dead, or both of them are dead. So, personally, in my mind, I think they should have, if they were going to make this movie, it definitely should have had a winner. So, in a way, I'm glad this movie wasn't made. Because then this just wouldn't have, gave Godzilla his victory. He deserved anyways. It just would have been Kong won, and no one won the second time. And it's just I don't know. I just don't see why they would do that. I would think they would at least let there be a winner, since they weren't afraid to do it the first time. But, hey, it's kind of tough talking about a concept. This never came to be, never happened. They were about to do it, this film in the Heisei series again, but that's a completely different movie. It was actually supposed to be, I believe, Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah originally, and that was a completely different movie. But, alas, we're going to get a rematch this year. Obviously, it's not a direct sequel to the original or connected in any way, so it's not going to be based a story off that one. But we'll still get our rematch, 2 different incarnations that will probably be a lot more entertaining to watch them battle. hopefully. And we'll see if we're supposed to get our winner, so maybe we'll get to see Godzilla win, and then we'll have to wait another 50 plus years for for them to finally do the actual grudge match. Let's say Godzilla wins, Kong won, Godzilla won. The next winner is the true winner at that point. But I mean, I'm happy to see this fight happen again in my lifetime anyway, especially with the Hollywood standard, and it's going to be very fascinating to see it come from America. But what do you guys think? Would you guys have liked this concept? If you want to read more about it, I'll put the link in the description. I think it's interesting, but I personally just wouldn't have liked it to happen. So, what do you guys think? If you guys enjoyed this video, as always, thank you for watching. Please share and subscribe. And, yeah, let me know your thoughts down below. You can read below. As always, have a good night. Peace.